incomplete, and the ball game's over, and the Giants have won Super Bowl 46. Finish is what Tom Coughlin said, and the Giants have finished off the Patriots in the Super Bowl for the second time in 4 years.
Muy buenas, queridos followers de Zona Gigantes. Hoy tenemos a un gran personaje de los Giants, de nuestros queridos New York Giants. Tenemos a Joe Ruback, más conocido como License Plate Guy, LPG, y probablemente es el seguidor más grande, el fanático más grande de los Giants, el más famoso, y está con nosotros hoy en Zona Gigantes para contaros un poco más de cómo es ser un Giants fan, cómo conoce la franquicia, los jugadores. Y nada, Joe Ruback, how are you, man?
¿Cómo estás? I'm great. Thank you so much for having me, man. This is great.
Yeah, we are so happy to have you because you are probably the most famous fan in the whole world of the Giants, the main face of the franchise for the fanatics. Joe, how is to be a Giants fan in New York? How it gets to you, this passion for the Giants? How you being like so passionate by the Giants? How it comes in your life, all this love for the New York Giants?
You know, first of all, thank you for saying all that. Being a Giants fan, it's weird because you're a fan because you were bred into it. Your father, your mother, your grandfather, your grandmother, it doesn't matter who it was. You didn't have a choice. So if they were a Giants fan, you were a Giants fan no matter what. So, and that's how you had to, you know, I've been going to games since I was able to walk. So, you know, the same old. Your dad would get you ready. We would take the train or the bus to the stadium back in the day, and you know, and we'd bring our food, and you'd eat it at halftime, and you'd enjoy the game. And it was like the day you got to spend with your dad or your grandfather, and you know, the love of sports and the love of Giants. That's where it stemmed from.
So in that case, Joe, it's come from your family, no? The origin of the Giants' passion?
100% from family. And it has to come from family too, because if you really think about it, being a New York Giants fan is a little bit different because we live I live in New York. I live about 35, 40 minutes from the stadium, which is in New Jersey. But being in New York, it's kind of like, you have to be bred into the family because you have multiple teams in New York. Don't forget, you have the Jets, you have the Bills, even though they're like, we might as well call them Canada, but they're very far from here, but it's still a New York team. So, you know, we don't live someplace where it's only one team, you know, where that whole entire state or tri-states or whatever root for that one team, you know, so it definitely stems from who made you a Giants fan.
Okay. The next question, Joe. How it comes to take the first license plate with you on the Giants game? How was this amazing idea to take a plate with the Giants name, and how became like a passion to collect them and make these big lines of plates that is representing you in that case?
Yeah, I have to tell you. So this is a funny story. So when I was just 16, I was going to the games with my dad. Actually, I was 15. I wasn't even driving yet. And I was going to the games with my dad, you know, for years. And then when I became 16, I knew that I wanted to get Giants as my license plate. I knew it when I was like 8, you know. I knew one day when I drive, I'm going to get Giants license plate. Anyway, I remember my mom took me to motor vehicles.
Okay.
And you know, then you had to wait on this long line. You know, there was no internet. You couldn't jump online to see if it was available. We waited like hours, and I got up to the front, and I asked for a personalized plate, custom plate, and I asked for Giants, and it was taken. It was taken. I was devastated. I was so upset. Like, you have no idea. I waited 10 years for this. I'm only 16, and I couldn't get it. And I think I was crying. I think my mom, I literally cried. And I think it was my mom's idea to put a 1 instead of an I. Are you there? You froze up a little bit. And then my mom was like, you should put a 1. you know, one ants. And I was like, that's a really good idea, Ma. We went back up to the counter, and it was available. And I got that plate literally when I was 16 years old. I still have it on my car today.
Nice.
That's still my license plate. So fast forward a couple of years, many years, and you know, I didn't just become license plate guy. I was wearing the plate, and the Giants won a game, and they won 2 games. And I remember a lot of people in the section, they were like, if they're winning and you're wearing that thing, you got to keep wearing it. And the reason why I wore it in the first place is because my dad dared me to. He's like, hey, why don't you wear your license plate to a game? I'm like, I'm not going to wear my license plate to a game. He's like, what, are you scared? I'm like, no, I'm not going to wear my license plate to a game. Sure enough, he dared me. I took it off my car. I put a little shoelace around it, and I wore it to a game. So, you know, the rest is history. I got another car, you know, like a Jeep. And I remember having like a winter car and a summer car, and then you were allowed to I got another license plate, you know, so 1 became 2. And in New York, they started changing the colors. So then 2 became 4 because you had to get new plates. And it just became a thing. But many, 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 many years later, Super Bowl 42, Tyree makes the catch.
Yeah.
And I wind up in the DVD saying, oh my God. I wasn't even a license plate guy. I was oh my God guy. So, you know, and then social media happens, and people like, hey, aren't you that guy? And then, you know, the plates just started, it took on a mind of its own. People from all over the country, all over the world were sending me their customized plates and was like, hey, could you wear this to the game? And I'm like, sure, you know, why not? And, you know, I didn't think I'd have 90 plates later, all real customized DMV issued Giant license plates.
I have to send you one from Barcelona, Spain, okay? Just remember.
I would love it.
Next question, Joe. What's your favorite player, historic player in the franchise? The player that you will say he's the best I ever saw. My favorite player in the history of the franchise?
Yeah, I there's only one player that anybody that's at least 40 years old, maybe 35 years old that could say, and obviously it's Lawrence Taylor. Lawrence Taylor, I was just a kid, but Lawrence Taylor changed the game of football. He changed the way you played the game. He changed the way you drafted players. Nobody drafted linemen. Nobody said, oh, we got to go get someone to block that guy. No one took an offensive lineman and moved him over to the other side just to block him. He changed the way you called plays. He changed the way you kept tight ends and running backs in to block. He just changed the game of football. And I believe he's the greatest defensive player to ever play the game. And yeah, look, you know, I have 10, 20 favorite players. But if you're asking me who the best ever to put on Big Blue, 100% Lawrence Taylor. And for all the people that bring up the negative things, yes, everybody has a problem, or everybody has something that they're going through that you don't know anything about. And everybody has their demons. And you shouldn't hate someone for their own demons.
Especially the genius, no? The genius are always like this.
No, correct. I mean, look, he had his share of drug problems and philanthropy. He wasn't the greatest guy off the field, maybe. But you know, he doesn't pay my bills. He doesn't live in my house. He never, you know, he never dated my sister, thank God. But what he did on the field, yeah, he's the greatest ever.
That's totally true. And in that case, it's the best one in the franchise history. What is your favorite one? The one that steals your heart, the one you're going to have his jersey always in your main cave that we are watching. It's fucking amazing, Joe.
Yeah, I'll take you through it. Wow, that's another great question. I guess I'd stick with Lawrence Taylor. I would have to say Eli Manning. I'd have to say someone like a Mark Bavaro or, Joe Morris. We became friends when I was just 15 years old. Chase Blackburn. I have several players that I talk to my daughter about.
Okay, perfect. Next question, Joe. What's your favorite game or favorite memory of Giants game and the most emotional moment? You can say the favorite game and you can say your emotional moment.
Look, I have, that's another thing. Everybody asks me my favorite game, and I have several. Super Bowl 21, watching the Giants win their first Super Bowl. I couldn't believe it. This is everything. This is everything my dad wanted his whole life, or Eli Manning in San Francisco, the championship game, taking a beating and leading the Giants down. But there again, this question becomes easy to answer because of the magnitude of Super Bowl 42.
Okay.
You're looking at an 18-0 team in the Patriots. You're looking at the Giants coming in there extremely, underdog and beating those incredible Patriots to make sure they don't go 19-0 in the greatest Super Bowl. I wouldn't say the greatest Super Bowl. I would say the greatest play.
Absolutely.
In the history. You can't argue. You cannot argue. It's the greatest play. And when I say play, I mean the escape and the catch.
I'm with you.
Greatest play in Super Bowl history. And how could it not be Super Bowl 42? And I wound up on a DVD. So how could that not be the answer?
Nice answer, Joe. Nice answer. Next question. How do you see the team right now, and what's your opinion about the planification of the team right now with Joe Judge, the coach with the same name you have, Joe Judge? It's funny.
No.
And what do you think we are going? In which direction the franchise is going right now?
Oh man, tough question, because being a Giant fan right now has been tough.
Yeah.
I'm entering my 20th year of going to every game, home and away. This is my 20th year coming up, and I've seen some unbelievable stuff, and I've been to some incredible games. But recently, I have not seen some good stuff, and I have not seen some incredible games. And the season's been over for me only a couple of games into the season, and that's tough.
Yeah.
Where's the direction? Right now, I think the Giants are starting to build. I think they're going to build more through the draft. I think they finally have a coach in Joe Judge that's going to lead them. I wasn't a huge McAdoo fan. I didn't like the way he talked to media. I didn't like the way he explained things. I didn't like his brashness. However, he did want Mahomes.
Yeah, that's true.
And then I was a Shermer fan. I did like him. However, some of his calls or never using Barkley in the second half, or time management, head scratching stuff that
Leadership, maybe, no? Also leadership.
It just wasn't good for him. So
yeah, that's true.
It took 2, 3, 4 years to get to this point, and now with Joe Judge, now we got a rookie, head coach with some veteran other coaches. I think he's put together a nice staff. So where are we? I don't know. I'll let you know after the draft. I'll let you know if they're finally going to go, and get that monster pass rush. Will Chase Young be there? Will Simmons be there? Will they just take an offensive tackle and call it a day? So look, I think the Giants are in decent shape. I don't think they're going to make their run for another 1 or 2 years.
Okay. Next question, Joe. What do you think about the international games in London? I was with the Spanish Bowl. I was covering one game last year. It's a really good organization. And you will like to come to Spain to watch a game here of the Giants, maybe in the stadium of FC Barcelona or in the Madrid stadium. What do you think about this internationalizing of the league?
I think the NFL has done a fantastic job in expanding the NFL. I have gone to both games in overseas. I've gone to both London games. The Giants played the Dolphins and
Yes.
the Dolphins twice? Wait, the Dolphins.
No, the Dolphins and the Rams.
And the Rams. How could I forget Landon Collins' incredible interception?
Yeah, amazing, yeah.
So I went to both games. Going to the away games is very expensive.
Yeah.
I don't like that part, but I think a game in Spain, oh my goodness. In Barcelona, I'd get my plane ticket right now. I couldn't wait.
You have a house here. You have a house here, Joe.
Thank you. It's going to happen. I'll tell you right now. It's definitely going to happen.
Okay. I'm happy to hear that because I live 2 blocks from the stadium.
Oh, yeah. I got a house. That's right. Oh, we're all set.
You don't have to say twice. Next question, Joe. When was your thought when we picked Daniel Jones? Because we see your reaction in television was like you were in first plane, like a representing of the Giants fan. And you think Daniel Jones going to be this franchise quarterback that we need?
All right. So another good question. I'm glad you asked me that because I'm kind of tired of people. I guess they're telling me how my feelings were. They're telling me I didn't want him.
Of course.
I didn't want him. Not at 6.
You want Josh Allen, no? At 6?
I did want him at 17.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't want Haskins. I wanted Jones just later. Here's the deal.
Yeah.
The Giants needed an immediate impact player. That immediate impact player to me was Devin White.
Mm-hmm.
So once the Tampa Bay Buccaneers took Devin White and then the Raiders didn't take Josh Allen or whatever it was, I was like, oh, it was the Raiders, then the Bucks, then the Giants. I was like, yes, Josh Allen is going to come in there and he's going to wreak havoc on the defense and it's going to be great. Did you know I didn't want Barkley either?
No, you wanted Rosen, no?
I wanted a quarterback.
Yes.
Right. So what I did in my head is I wanted a quarterback, then a running back. The Giants did a running back, then a quarterback. They just flip-flopped the years, or I flip-flopped the years in my head.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing when Daniel Jones got picked. I was like, no, not at 6. Like, you got to wait for that. You got to wait. But listen, I don't get paid the big bucks to make those calls. The Giants made the call. And to be honest with you, it looks like they made a pretty damn good call.
Yeah, it's true.
I think Jones is going to be phenomenal. But let me ask you a question.
Yes.
All right, let me ask you one. Fast forward 1 year. The draft's coming up. Burrow, Herbert, Tua. Everybody is there for the taking, and the Giants are at number 4. So did they make the right call? I guess we'll see in 10 years now, won't we? I do believe that Daniel Jones is going to be the quarterback of the future. Mm-hmm. I think he's Eli Manning's splitting image. I think he's going to win a championship here. Multiple championships. So at the end of the day, they made the right call. And that's that.
I agree with you, Joe. I think Daniel Jones is perfect for New York. You are a New Yorker, and you know how the media and everything is, you know. Okay, let's see the cap.
Daniel Jones.
Oh
we got to represent him. We got to represent Jones here. So yeah,
nice cap. Love it. Really nice cap.
Right call.
So Joe, in this draft, it's in 1 month exactly. It's gonna be on 23 of April. What do you think we're gonna pick on the number 4, and what is your choice in the pick 4? In Zona Gigantes, we are for Isaiah Simmons 100%. But What is your choice, and what do you think Gentleman is gonna pick on the number 4?
Okay, so obviously I haven't picked right in the last couple of years, so I'm going to give you my opinion anyway.
Sure.
I want Chase Young. I really do. I think Chase Young he has more upside coming out of college than Clowney, than any of the pass rushers. That's how good I think he is. I do believe that he's probably going to go to the Redskins, which stinks because he's in our division, and then I'll hate him. But I would love the Giants to grab Simmons at 4. I think he's going to be there. I think Simmons not only offers toughness, great tackling capabilities, but I believe that he could cover the tight end out of the backfield.
Mm-hmm.
With the Giants, I'm not saying that the Giants, with picking up Martinez and Fackwell, I'm not saying that they kind of played their hand that they're not going linebacker, because I don't believe that. But I do believe that the Giants are going to pick an offensive tackle at 4, and that's it. They're not going to mess around anymore. They don't care who sits on the board except Chase Young. They don't care who else sits on the board. It's going to be. Did you watch the movie Draft Day?
Yes, of course.
Offensive tackle, no matter what. I believe that Gettleman already has that on his wall somewhere, and that's what they're doing. I truly believe that.
Okay. In that case, Joe, what do you think is going to be the pick of Gentleman? Which is going to be the tackle that we're going to take on the number 4?
All right. So you have 4 tackles, right? You have Thomas.
Mm-hmm.
You have Wirfs. You have Becton. And you have Wills.
Wills, yeah.
I want Wills, but I believe the Giants are in love with Wirfs' ability to do everything. He is the most athletic of the 4. Even though all this talk about Becton being so big and so strong and this and that, I still think he's a year or 2 away from being incredible. So I got to be honest with you. I think it's going to be Wirfs, if I'm saying that correctly, Wirfs. But I'd take any of the 4, to be honest with you. I really would. I think every offensive tackle is going to be okay.
Okay. So Joe, I don't have any more questions, but something you want to say to the Giants Spanish fans, to all the people of Spanish Bowl, Zona Gigantes, Giants fans in Spain?
So first of all, thank you for having me. I think it's great. I love how many Giant fans do you hit with your, podcast, your Instagram, your Twitter, all of it?
Now on Twitter in Giants Spain, we are around 1,400 followers, more
That's
or less.
Awesome. I gotta get in your group. I gotta start following, because I think it's incredible that I don't look at myself as I'm not better than anybody else. Giant fans rock together. There's no super fan. There's no, yes, maybe I have a little more attention. Maybe I was on the video. Maybe I have a nice platform, but I think Giant fans rock together. So when you asked to do this, I was like, wow, all the way over there with thousands of Giant fans. I think that's incredible. So I want to tell everybody over there, keep rooting for the Giants. They're going to be back to stardom. They're going to be back to winning championships. I love the fan base over there. I can't wait to come visit everybody. I got to brush up on my Spanish.
We can teach you. So Joe, it's been a pleasure to have you in Zona Gigantes. We're gonna follow you all the time. We're gonna be looking for everything, and we hope a nice draft, because if we make a good draft, I think we're gonna be more competitive. So Joe, big hug, Giants hug, abrazo gigante, like we say in Spain, y muchas gracias.
Muchas gracias to you guys, man. Thank you so much for having me.
It's a pleasure.
No doubt.